Well, let's talk a little bit about this year's TakeOver New York card. Five bouts, all title matches. Are you a fan of these smaller cards here with less matches?
Well, I think that's why everybody loves the NXT because the takeovers are quick. They're not quick, but they're a shorter run time. They're dynamite shows. Everything means something. And I think back in the day, that was much more what it was like. Now, granted, I think there is a slew of talent on the NXT roster. I think they could put together a 4-hour, 5-hour show if they had to or needed to. But the NXT universe, getting to watch all of the titles up, I think it's a special thing. And I think every single takeover kind of tops the previous one somehow, some way. I mean, if you look back to the Tommaso Johnny little run there they had at the takeovers in Chicago and I believe in New York, it was insanity, the things that they would do. And now, Adam Cole and Johnny Wrestling are going to bring the house down and the NXT UK and the women. I mean, there's so many matches that are going to be incredible. I can't wait for Friday night in New York City and Brooklyn. And the takeovers always blow the roof off the place. And I assume that they're going to do it again. And I'm just lucky to talk a little shit before it.
Yeah, no kidding, man. And, I was here in Chicago, by the way, for Gargano and Ciampa. And those two just absolutely burned the house down. I love watching these guys together. And I guess that brings me to my question for you. I mean, who do you want to see walk away with the NXT championship? Do you think it's Adam Cole's time to be on top? Or would you rather see Gargano take the title here and maybe build to an eventual decisive championship bout here between Gargano and Ciampa when he heals and comes back?
Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
His last name's Wrestling. I want Johnny Gargano to win. Adam Cole hates jorts. He's un-American. He should not be representing the hottest brand in sports entertainment. I am a big Johnny Gargano. Obviously, I respect the Undisputed Era and what they're able to do both in the ring and on the microphone. I think they're an incredible little faction there. But this is Johnny Gargano's time to take back the helm as the top guy at NXT, and I'm excited to watch it happen. And Adam Cole is obviously an incredible showman. He's got great hair. He's handsome. He's attractive, but he hates jorts. So turns me against him immediately. I'm a big-time Johnny Wrestling guy, and I think he walks out of there with the title.
I had forgotten all about the heat that you had with Adam Cole here. I feel dumb having – there it is, Dick Hausman again coming back out there. I completely blanked that I know that you have heat with Adam Cole. That's a dumb question for me.
Unbelievable, Nick. Hey, Nick, this is unbelievable, Nick. There's nothing else going on in your world, I assume, so you forgetting that is very offensive.
It's all wrestling. It's all wrestling for me. All wrestling for me. Hey, let's talk about the NXT North American Championship real quick. I think this is a very interesting bout here. You got the showman, Velveteen Dream, the champion here, taking on the pure athlete, the former UFC fighter, Matt Riddle. How do you think this match plays out?
Well, I respect the fact that both of these guys have their eyes on massive careers, right? Velveteen Dream has not been quiet or shy about the fact that he wants to get called up to Raw or SmackDown brands. And Matt Riddle came out and said that he wants to be the one that retires Brock Lesnar. Velveteen Dream, anytime he walks into an arena, there's a little bit of a buzz, a little bit of electricity. And Riddle is just a physical freak. I mean, I watched his chronicle of going down to NXT and how he stopped at a couple different of his wrestling schools and the whole thing. He's a guy you can really get behind. But I just don't know if you can beat the experience of TakeOver. Velveteen Dream seems to want and love that North American Championship, and I think he retains, even though it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful match between two freak athletes. But I think there's going to be a little bit of a rainmaker there from old Purple Cuzzy Velveteen Dream.
Here's the thing about Velveteen Dream. You're right. He's so outspoken about wanting to get called up to Raw or SmackDown, and it seems wave after wave, he continues to stay in NXT. He continues to grow in NXT. He's a champion now. Do you think that if he maybe showed a little bit more humility, he could be looked at as somebody that they could put up onto the main rosters of Raw and SmackDown and tour around the country?
I mean, humility is a cool thing if you're talking about the real world out here. But in sports entertainment, humility is either something you go full in or you go completely against. Ric Flair used to cut promos about everything in his life being much grander and greater than every other human existing. Not being humble is something that is welcomed in sports entertainment. So do I think Velveteen Dream will go up and do incredible on Raw and SmackDown, just like Alastair and Ricochet and Tommaso and Johnny were whenever they get called up, or Kevin Owens or Seth Rollins, anybody that's come up from NXT? Absolutely. But Velveteen's still young. I mean, he's a product of that performance center. He's been groomed. He's been prepped. He'll get his shot at some point, and when he does, he'll be ready to roll.
What do you? Last question here about Velveteen Dream. What do you make of his obsession with Hulk Hogan?
I'm probably growing up. Also a little Macho Man too. He's got a little Macho Man too. So I'm assuming that whenever he was growing up, he was big into the Macho Man and then of Hulk Hogan. I mean, Hulk Hogan has said some regrettable things. I think we've all learned that.
Yes.
But you can't deny the fact that the WWF back then and the WWE, a lot of those decades were pushed on the shoulders of Hulk Hogan. And if you're a diehard fan ever since you're a kid and you dive into the WWE networks, into the annals of the history of the WWF, you can't help but put some respect on what he was able to do in the profession outside of the ring and outside of the company. Definitely some suspect stuff, but whenever he was in the ring, he was able to put on a show and captivate millions and millions of people on a regular basis. So I'm not sure why he is, obsessed with the entire thing, but I could only assume that it's because he was a massive fan whenever he was younger growing up, and that's where all these dreams start, is whenever you're a kid and then you get to play it out as an adult.
Well, let's talk about a dream come true here. UK Championship, Pete Dunne, or dream/nightmare, because it's been a dream ride for this guy. Nearly 2 years. I did the math the other day. He's been the UK champion for 677 days right now. I think Brock Lesnar may have held the title. I think he's held the title longer than Brock Lesnar, actually. But regardless, Pete Dunne, very lengthy title here. He's going up against one of the biggest powerhouses on the planet, Walter. Do you think this is where Pete Dunne's dream ride comes to an end?
I'll tell you what, I'm a citizen of America. So the NXT UK champion is not for me to decide, but I enjoy the Pete Dunne character. I enjoy how strong his jaw is whenever he bites down on the title and just carries that thing in his mouth like a dog. I don't think he cares who he's going against. It's not size of the dog in a fight, it's size of fighting dog. And I think Pete Dunne retains, and there's a reason he's been a champion for almost 2 years. I think he'll do incredible things, but I'm excited the NXT UK title is getting represented at an NXT TakeOver. It's not only good for the brand, but it's good for England, too. I mean, good for England. Let's give them a round of applause as well, because this is a big deal. And it's also the city that never sleeps, New York City. Always, it's going to be a massive moment for NXT. It's going to be a massive moment for NXT UK. And I think it's going to be a moment that Pete Dunne is going to hang his career on whenever when it's all said and done.
You are much more optimistic about Pete Dunne's chances than I am. I mean, Walter is built like a tank. This is one of the biggest, scariest men I've ever seen in all of pro wrestling. So I'm all about you being behind Pete Dunne here, but I have a feeling he's going to have some welts on his chest, and I don't think he's going to have that title walking out of TakeOver.
Oh, so you're saying Daniel Bryan sucks? Is that what you just said? Because he's small and he gets welts on his chest? Wow. Wow.
Look, I'm just speaking. Wow. I'm just speaking truth. Walter, I saw Walter and PCO throw down last year WrestleMania weekend, two of the biggest, baddest men on the planet. And look, Walter is not your typical wrestler. I mean, this guy. He's a literal monster. This guy is a freak.
There's a lot of freaks in the sports entertainment business, and there's a reason why champions are champions. You don't just fall to the top of the mountain, Nick. You got to remember that. You earn your way up every single step of the way. He's been at the top of the NXT UK mountain a long time. It's not going to be easy to topple. I don't care how big of a freak he is. I don't care what PCO or POS he was in last year. Pete Dunne's a champion for a reason, and I think he remains that way coming out of Brooklyn next Friday night.
All right, real quickly, two more matches here from TakeOver. We'll get to the women here. The NXT Women's Championship, Shayna Baszler defending against Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, and Bianca Belair, who we know that your friend Sam Roberts is a big fan of here. Big weekend for the four horsewomen, both from UFC and from the WWE. Do you think that this is a chance for Shayna to prove that she's on the same level as her friend Ronda Rousey?
Shayna is definitely on the same level as Ronda Rousey. She's been an incredible champion in NXT. She's vicious in the ring. She cuts good promos, and she looks the part. She could beat you up. She could beat me up, and that's something you have to be whenever you're the champion. She said snap, tap, or crap. She said she was going to make somebody do that. But Bianca Belair, it's her time to shine, and Sam Roberts is going to hate it. I'm going to love it, and I'm excited for the women's evolution that's been really kicking ass, not only in NXT, but also on the main roster up there. And it's a huge, huge weekend for the ladies of the WWE, and I think they're going to steal the show both on Friday and on Sunday.
What do you think of the decision to have the women close WrestleMania?
It's awesome. Everybody knew that. That thing, the Ronda Rousey Becky Lynch heat is such a real one. Then you throw in such a legacy like Charlotte Flair in there. It's a match that's been built up for a long time, both on social media and on TV. I think it's fitting. It's the only real one where you feel like as if the three humans in there legitimately hate each other. And I think it's going to be a hell of a way to cap off probably an 8-hour show. So I can't wait to see it. Hopefully the stadium will have some juice for them, because it's just like Triple H said, it wasn't given, it was earned. And I think it's the right time, the right people, and it's going to be the right show to cap the whole thing off.
All right, in the last match here, the Tag Team Championships from NXT, the War Raiders defending against Ricochet and Alastair Black. Me personally, win, lose, or draw, I do see this as a bit of a swan song here for Ricochet and Alastair Black. It seems they are destined for the main roster. Are you interpreting this match the same way?
You know what? I did think that they were just got caught up so quick with nothing else happened. Just one day they just showed up on the main roster. They've been pulling double duty here for a long time, though. They're on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I think that type of road warrior type thing could wear them down, although they've gotten some great wins over a lot of great tag teams up in Raw and SmackDown. But I'm a War Raiders guy, man. I mean, they think they're actual Vikings. It's going to be hard to beat people that mentally think they're Vikings. All right. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Although I love Ricochet and Alice's performance, I think they're going to be the next huge things up on the main roster. But for me, the War Raiders are going to be tough to beat in that Dusty Classic.
All right, last